Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about all the fragrances that I wore last week. So you can see I'm zoomed out a little bit more than I normally would be because my husband actually said to me the other day when he was watching me edit a video, he was like, "Are you too close to the camera?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe I'll just try zooming out and we'll see what everybody thinks." So thankfully y'all have really liked this lighting, so I don't think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. I am going to add some like twinkling lights back there to make it a little bit, you know, more cozy, but I think for the most part everybody's enjoying this warm light. So anyways, with all that being said, I'm going to jump right in. These are, I wore a ton last week, and well, not a ton, but quite a few. And I wore one, I just got one in a swap that I did, and I've already worn it, and I'm really excited to talk about that one. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up and just jump right in. The first one that I wore is, well, these are obviously, as always, in no particular order. So the first one we're gonna talk about is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle Le Parfum, and I love this fragrance. This one is, if the original works for you, this one would most likely work for you. It's very, very similar to the original. It's just more intense. It's creamier, it's richer, it's deeper. It's just a more intense fragrance, but it still smells exactly like La Belle. So there's really no change up as far as the note breakdown goes. It's just a more intense version of La Belle. It's like a wintertime version, and I love it. It wears exactly the same on me. I love it. Most Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances do not work on me. A lot of the Scandal, well, the entire Scandal line, I can't wear any of them except for Scandal by Night. But even that one, I don't have the real one. I have like a dupe of it, and the dupe works, so I don't even know if the real one works. But a lot of the Classique line doesn't work for me. The original Classique does, but pretty much all of the flankers to it don't work on me. So I'm one of those people that this is one of the only Jean Paul Gaultier lines that actually work on my skin. And I'm very grateful for that because I absolutely love this fragrance. It's a beast on me. This is one that I can put on in the morning. I will still smell like this 10 hours later. It's just such a good performer. And if you're wondering, is it worth owning both this and the original? It depends. Number one, it depends on how much you like this. If you really, really love this and you love the idea of a more intense version, I think that it's worth having it. If you're somebody that's just kind of like, yeah, I like the original, it's okay, you know, I have it, I wear it every once in a while, it's not one of my favorites though, then no, I would not suggest getting this because it smells just like it. So anyways, I hope that is helpful. So that is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle Le Parfum. I love that fragrance. Okay, next I wore this one because I pulled this out for a favorite purchases of 2021 video, and I could not put it back until I wore it. This is Mugler Alien, The Taste of Fragrance, and this is such a beautiful version of Alien. It's a little bit softer. It's got it's a little bit more well-rounded. It still smells exactly like Alien, and in the deep dry down, I can't detect a difference between this and like the original Alien. They all smell very, very similar, so it's like hard for me to, I don't know, talk about the differences in this to Alien, except that I would say that this one's a little bit less maybe a little bit less intense, a little bit more well-rounded. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a gourmand take on Alien. Like you can actually taste the fragrance from what I've read. Yeah, I guess it's those things. But to me, it just dries down to Alien on my skin at the end of the day. It's just Alien, basically. I do love it. I'm glad I have it. But this is not, if you don't own this and it's one that you've been looking for forever, but you own other Alien flankers, I would not feel bad that you don't have this. I don't think it's like a must-have for anybody. I don't think it's different enough from the original Alien that it warrants paying like the exorbitant prices that people are asking for this. I mean, I was sad to see when this came back and popped up on all of the discount sites on the internet. I was very sad to see people scooping up like 4 and 5 bottles of it and then going on eBay, going on Mercari, and they paid $70 for it and then tried to sell it for $200. They're just like preying on people's want for this discontinued fragrance, and to me that's just kind of gross, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, yeah, I wouldn't feel sad if you don't have this in your collection. Do I love it? Yeah, it's a nice Alien, but it's not all that different from the original Alien. So anyways, that is Alien, the Taste of Fragrance from Mugler. This next one, I'm so sad about this one because this is one that I thought I was going to absolutely love. I've given this two full, really good wear tests, and I'm just not in love with this. I'm not in love with this the way that I thought I was going to be based on when I tested the sample of it, which that happens sometimes. Sometimes we test samples of things and we fall in love with them, but then we get the full bottle and it's just something is not the same about it. Well, that was this. This is from Widian, and this is called Rose Arabia Almond. This is a gorgeous fragrance. It's a really beautiful, very sweet, candied almond and rose fragrance, but something about this just is not great on me. It just doesn't sit well on my skin. It doesn't mesh. So because of that, this one is going to be leaving my collection, unfortunately, but it lasts forever. I mean, like I said, I've given this two really good full wear tests, and both times I easily got 8-10 hours out of it. I am an oversprayer, so overspraying it, I easily got 8 to 10 hours. Now, it will project for maybe the first couple of hours, but then it wears pretty close to the skin after that, though it's one of those fragrances where every time you move, you can smell it, and others, I'm sure, can smell it. It's a really gorgeous fragrance. It just ended up not being great on me. So anyways, that is a disappointment, but it will find a really good home, I'm sure. This is Rose Arabia Almond from Widian. Okay, this next one, I pulled this out. I don't even remember. It's been a while ago. I pulled this out for a video and I couldn't put it back until I wore it. This is Britney Spears Fantasy Stage Edition. This is the original formulation of Fantasy, which number one is nostalgic for me because I wore Fantasy when it very, very first came out. I think I've told you guys before, but I'll tell you again. For those of you that are new around here or don't remember me talking about it, I went through a stage in my mid-ish 20s, kind of I don't know, I want to say 23, 24, 25, in that, maybe even 26, I can't remember, but in that time in my life, I went through this stage where I had worn Stella for so many years, which was such a beautiful grown-up fragrance for me, that I kind of reverted, and I went through this, it was almost like a midlife crisis, in my early to mid-20s, which was really weird. And I wanted to smell more youthful after having worn Stella for so many years. So I went through a Britney Spears Fantasy phase, and this is when it first launched, when it very first came out. So this is nostalgic smelling because of that. It just reminds me of those days when I lost my mind for a minute and felt like I wanted to be youthful again, I was not, I was getting old or something, which is so ridiculous. But anyways, I love it. This has a very strong but very synthetic white chocolate cupcake note. It does have the kiwi in it, but the kiwi is a little bit more toned down in this, and it's definitely much more of a cakey cupcake type fragrance. I adore this. It's lasting power on this isn't the best, but it's not the worst. I can get about 5 hours out of it. I think I got about 5 hours out of it, and I did layer this over some lotion as well, and I still only got about 5 hours out of it. It lasts on clothing a little bit longer, but yeah, after about 5 hours, I would have needed to reapply it. I think I reapplied something else or tested something else, but yeah. So anyways, that is Britney Spears Fantasy Stage Edition. I love this. It's very hard to find now. I believe it's been discontinued, and I love it. I'm so happy I have a bottle in my collection. Okay, next is the fragrance that I've been obsessed with. I've been wearing this. In fact, this is what I sprayed on when this wore off. This is what I spray on. I've been spraying this on most days when something else wears off. This is the fragrance from Untamed called Mevlana in the Medieval City, and I'm obsessed with this fragrance. This is, oh my gosh, cardamom and Turkish coffee. It's mostly coffee and spices. with just the slightest bit of sweetness. And there's also a note in here called Greek mastic, which I am unfamiliar with, but it is very prominent and super unique and super beautiful. And this is hands down, this was my favorite fragrance I smelled in the entire year of 2021. I loved it. I'm just obsessed with this fragrance. I can't talk about it enough. I just did an entire video on this house. This is a brand new house coming out of Vancouver, Canada. She's an independent perfumer, and this is, every single fragrance she makes is stunning. This one though, I am absolutely obsessed with. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because like I said, I just did a whole video on it. I'm obsessed with this and I could rave about it for hours. So I will just tell you that I've been wearing the heck out of it like every single day at some point. I'm spraying this on. So anyways, that is Untamed Mevlana. Such an incredible fragrance. Okay, and then I wore a couple of itty bitties here. This is from a little indie house called Cocoapink, and I love this house. She makes some of the funnest fragrances. This one is called Triple Vanilla Dream, and it's like a mixture of like some different niche vanilla fragrances. It's like, I think it's like Tihota Indult mixed with something else. Vaniglia del Madagascar maybe, or I can't exactly remember. It's like a mixture of 3 different vanillas though. It basically smells like a very slightly sweet, just really nice warm vanilla. It's not too gourmand, it's not too cakey or anything like that. I love it though. I was in the mood for it, so I just sprayed that on one day. And of course when this one wore off, because this one doesn't last all that long, I sprayed on the Mevlana. So yeah, there was that one. And then another morning I woke up, I didn't really know what to wear, so I reached for one of my Kuumba oils. I just grabbed one because Kuumba oils are just easy breezy. You can just throw one on and go. I had to go to work that morning, so I'm always looking for pretty safe fragrances since I do work in a pretty tight space with other people. So I try to be considerate and wear safe stuff, so I picked out this Sweet Rain one. This is beautiful. This is it's kind of like resinous and it's got patchouli in it, but there's a brightness. I think it's got maybe some citruses, maybe some flowers. It's really, really nice. I love it. It just smells like a very warm, earthy. It smells like the Bath and Body section, like in a Whole Foods. That's what it smells like. It smells like what it smells like when you walk into that section with all the fresh soaps that are out there, you know, just cut sitting there, and just the different, you know, fragrances that you smell in that area. That's what Sweet Rain smells like the whole section. I love it. Doesn't last the longest in the world though. I think this was gone before I even made it home, and I only work 5-hour shifts. So yeah, this didn't even get me through an entire 5-hour work day. But it was okay because I wore this in the morning and then I came home and I sprayed on Untamed Mevlana. So that's what I've been doing. I've been wearing fragrances and then coming home and spraying that on like every day. Okay, and then last but not least is I just did a swap with somebody. I just wore this fragrance last night, and this is a fragrance that I had my eye on, and it's funny when she sent pictures over of fragrances that she's decluttering. We swapped pictures of fragrances that we're decluttering, and I saw this one and I asked her about it, and she confirmed that it was what I was looking for, which I'll explain in a second. So this is a fragrance called Tsukimi by a house called Annayake. So I'm guessing it's a Japanese house. So that is the house, Annayake, and that is the fragrance. It's called Tsukimi. And it says, this is an eau de toilette. It says it is the scent of autumn. Let me see where this is made. It's made in France. It's made in France, but I do believe it's a Japanese house. So anyways, I had been looking for an alternative to Givenchy Givenchy Organza Indecence, because that is such a hard fragrance to come by now. And my little half-ounce bottle is like halfway gone. So I'm looking for something to replace it. And on Fragrantica, this fragrance is voted as being a fragrance that smells like it. So anyways, I got this in a swap. And this is beautiful. It doesn't quite have the warmth or the amount of cinnamon that Indecence has, but it's still a beautiful fragrance. I love this. I love how it wears on me. These are my favorite kinds of fragrances. They're warm. It's like warm and spicy and pretty simplistic. And I just love it. It doesn't last very long though. This is, I can get maybe, like I sprayed this on before I went to bed last night and I feel like I couldn't even smell it by the time I fell asleep. And I think I only made it about 30 minutes between the time I got in bed and was falling asleep watching my phone. So yeah, I want to say this is really fleeting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like an hour-ish. I don't know. I'll have to test this again. I think last night was the first time I really gave it a good full like spray down, my normal spray routine. And it just didn't get me too far, but that's okay. Because Givenchy Organza Indecence is the same. It doesn't last very long and you're not gonna get a lot of time out of that either. So it's like, it just is what it is. I'm happy to have this though. I am gonna keep it in the box just to, I don't know. It's funny, the older I'm getting, the more I want to keep my fragrances in boxes. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me. But anyways, so those are all of the fragrances that I wore last week. I do hope that this was helpful and that you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.